Good morning. Welcome to McMurry University's 36th Athletic Hall of Honor induction ceremony. I'm David Bacon, and I'll be serving as our MC for this morning's event as we honor members of the McMurry athletic community who are champions. Today we will honor athletes who have demonstrated competitive excellence while leading their teams to championship performances. We have the trophies and the banners showcasing their competitive excellence. So this morning is also a time to thank and honor our supporters and philanthropists who are champions, who help champion our young men and women in their efforts by providing the support necessary to compete at a high level. Finally, we'll be honoring champions for life who have gone out and made the world a better place while bringing prestige and honor to McMurry University in areas of their life after graduation. We have a lot to do this morning, and we have a lot of incredible people to honor. But first, I'd like to invite McMurry University's chaplain, Marty Cash Burles, to the podium to kick us off with the invocation, followed by President for Student Affairs.
To be in prayer with me. Almighty God, thank you for this day and for the opportunity to celebrate the outstanding achievements through the year. The impact of this university on both individuals and teams who have successfully represented the institution is immeasurable. Allow us now to remember and honor these successes as we continue to support our current student athletes on the field of play and in the classroom. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Marty. Good morning. Before we get started, there's some people that we really need to thank that have worked really, really hard to make this happen. Debbie Ford is in the back, and she has done a lot of heavy lifting. Mike Ezekiel and Tiffany Taylor, James Lester, and the best MC in town, David Bacon. One more time, a round of applause for these guys for all that they do. I'm excited to welcome you all to the 36th Hall of Honor induction ceremony, and it's really good to see all of you on campus. It's always great to see friends and alumni, and it's good to celebrate. Celebrations like these are important, and it's been tough to celebrate over the last 18 months or so. But celebrations are good, and I heard a quote from a soccer coach. I'm not much of a soccer fan, but Liverpool of the Premier League, their soccer coach, Jurgen Klopp, he said, "Life is too short not to celebrate nice moments." And today's certainly a nice moment. We have the opportunity to honor McMurry's best, some of our all-time greats. While normally we would do this in the maybe room over a meal, we apologize that we're not able to deliver that today, but we thought it was important to be safe, but we thought it was also important to find a way to celebrate. So again, thanks for being creative with us and being flexible. But this class, as I said, represents McMurry's best. It represents excellence competitively and professionally. We've got all conference members, all Americans, national champions, all being honored today. But we also have important professionals doing important jobs in the fields of education, energy, healthcare, politics, and philanthropy. So this class is giving us a glimpse and giving our students a glimpse of what is possible from McMurry University. And we're excited about that. Our mission is to develop champions for life, not just for a season, but for life. And we are honoring champions for life today indeed. So again, to our inductees, congratulations. To our guests, thank you for being flexible with us. I hope you enjoy the ceremony. And before I go, I'd like to now welcome to the podium McMurry's biggest fan, and that's our president, Dr. Sandra Harper.
Thank you, Sam, and this is always one of my favorite events, and so I'm so glad that we're able to have it this year. And one of the things the reason I like it is because it really represents a lot of things that we try to stress at McMurry University. I've been focusing on one of our core values this year, and that's excellence. And we think that when you think about what does it take to be excellent in whatever field you're in, or excellent in your family life or in your community, it usually takes some degree of discipline and goal setting. And I think the athletes that are going to be honored here tonight or today actually represent both of those things. They had to have the discipline when they were students at McMurry to be able to combine all of the things that go into being a competitive athlete. And obviously, because of their honors today, we've got people that excelled both in their competitive fields and their lives. Our tagline, "Developing Champions for Life," is really exemplified in all of these people. And I guess the other thing I would say is that, we've been looking at, our theme this year is innovation, and we had a great convocation speech a couple of days ago about what it takes to be innovative, and I think innovation and excellence kind of go hand in hand. But basically the theme of that is that you've got to incorporate a lot of little things in your life in order to be excellent. You've got to make something in your daily lives a part of your habits of excellence in order to be excellent. And I think, again, the honorees exemplify all of those qualities. So, one other thing I'd like to mention, and that is that really this event and the honorees here really point to our mission statement. And we talk about that we want our students to approach their lives with the attitude of leadership, service, and professional success. And I think as you hear the stories of the honorees, you will see all three of those just magnified: leadership, service, and professional success. These are scholar athletes in the true sense of the word, and they represent not only the teams that they competed in, but also all the teams and all the athletes that have competed here and are competing today. So thank you all for being great representatives of McMurry University, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harper and Sam. Let me take a moment now to introduce a few special guests who are joining us this morning. I'd like to ask any members of previous classes of the Hall of Honor to please stand at this time. You're always honored guests, and we're delighted to have you here today as we induct this new class. So please, those who are already in the Hall of Fame, would you please stand at this time so we can recognize you? Thank you. Now to introduce our class of 2021, beginning with our individual inductees. There may be no better feeling in the sport of football than scoring a touchdown, whether it's from 1 yard out or from 99 yards away. Although when it's done from 99 yards away, there's more time to soak in that moment as it happens. The only player to ever enjoy a 99-yard touchdown run at McMurry University is Bovina, Texas native Billie Ray Shelby, better known as Doc. Doc played from 1974 to 1978 and was a two-time All-Conference selection, two-time MVP in 1977 and 1978, as well as All-American Honorable Mention in 1977. Shelby not only holds the record for longest run from scrimmage in McMurry history, but he also has the most single-game rushing yards in program history with 261 against Millsaps College. After McMurray, Shelby went on to do many great things, including UIL officiating and a long career with the Frito-Lay Company. You could say he was in the chips. Nowadays, Doc is on the political circuit as he's running for Texas 4th Congressional District. He's married to Brenda Johnson Shelby, and the couple resides in Royce City. They have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, Doc Shelby. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. They told me they was going to give me 5 minutes to be able to thank everybody that helped me get to this moment. I said to myself after the excitement of the award that I think I could probably get through junior high school. But I do want to say thank you for all the amazing athletes and coaches that I had an opportunity to play with and for. I want to give a very special thanks to Coach Spud Aldridge. He was an offensive genius. He put me in a position every Saturday to be successful, and that's all you can ask for anybody that is a leader, an educator, a college athlete dreams for those type of people. I also like to thank people that are here like Doyle Snell, Thomas Hines, people that when you get up off the ground, you look into their eyes, they say things are going to be okay. An athlete that pushes you every day during workout like Thomas Hines, it keeps you on your toes. I just want to say thank you for all that you've done, and for everybody that I didn't mention, know that I love you, and I've always thanked you, and you're always in my stories. Thank y'all.
Doc, could you suit up for this afternoon's ball game?
Thank God for his timing.
Talitha Belcher Alexander was a three-sport athlete at McMurry, her rooting section down here. She enrolled in 1997 and finished up in 2002. Originally from Midland, Talitha excelled in cross country and women's basketball, but took it to a different level as an elite sprinter. She owns multiple track records still standing today, including the indoor 55-meter dash, the outdoor 100-meter dash, the outdoor 200-meter dash, and the 4x400 relay. Talitha is a 4-time All-American in the 100 and the 4x100 relay, a 3-time All-American in the 200, and a 1-time All-American in the 4x400. If I listed all the things and accomplishments at the conference level, we might be here for a while. Outside of her multiple MVP awards on the track, she was an even better champion for life off the track. Talitha earned the Fred Jacoby Sportsmanship Award in 2001, which is given to only one female in the entire conference each season based on sportsmanship, leadership, citizenship, and integrity. It's easy to see how these skills have translated her life after college, as she has impacted many young lives in education. As of 2021, Talitha was promoted to the title of Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for Harmony Public Schools. Talk about a champion for life. She's here with her family, including her children. She currently resides in Richmond, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Talitha Belcher Alexander to the McMurry Hall of Honor. Congratulations.
Woo! I want to first give honor to God, to the faculty and staff here at McMurry University, and congratulations to the individual athletes and teams who have the honor of sharing this induction tonight, or this morning, sorry. Y'all, it takes a village, and the ongoing support from my family, my friends, and my coaches. Today, I am here. Daddy, you've been present for some important milestones in my life. Today marks one of those milestones. I embrace the times that I get to spend with you, and I look forward to what lies ahead. I love you more than you'll ever know. Today, you are here, and I'm forever grateful. To my big sister, Tarshina, I've watched how resilient you are since we were young, and that hasn't changed one bit. I've always admired how you've overcome the obstacles in your life. Despite the circumstances, you always carried yourself with grace. Thank you for showing me strength. Today, she's a nurse. To the twin sister, Tammy, you have such a big heart. You're so genuine, and you give the shirt off your back if I needed it. Your dedication and hard work will always put you in a winning position. So I want you to know that God has a blessing with your name on it. Thank you for being the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, sorry. Today, she's a supervisor in home health care. To my little sister, Taronda, you have a beautiful personality. Big and tenacious. Just like Mama, you are the life of the party. When you see something you want, you go get it. I can't wait to see what type of business plan you come up with next. Thank you for showing me ambition. Today, she's an educator and an entrepreneur. Mama couldn't be here today, but she deserves a shout out. My mom is the source of my strength and my constant motivation to push for more in life. My sisters and I are not done yet, and today, we are accomplished because she lives on in each of us. Rest in peace, my sweet angel. To my daughters, Bria and Avery, you girls know just what to say and to do to keep me sane. You give me reasons to never quit, and you have shown unconditional love. You're beautiful, you're smart, and you're both are destined for greatness. Never forget, my world is a better place because of you. To my friend Marty, God has no mistakes when he placed you in my life. If a breath of fresh air was a person, it'd be you. You've brought a sense of peace, comfort, and joy to my life. Thank you for a genuine friendship that's much more than the ordinary. To my uncles, Derek and Danny, my aunts, Sandra and Annie, brother-in-law Breon, Bridget, my brothers and sisters who are here and those who could not make it today, my cousins, my nieces, and my nephews. Each of you hold a special place in my heart. You have no idea how much I appreciate you and love your continuous support. Thank you so much for being here. The Pamplins, you have been a true blessing to me. Dr. Hope Pamplin, I'll never forget the initial meetup here at McMurry. We had the exact same shoes on, but it just wasn't any shoes. They were shoes from the kids section at Foot Locker. And so that's how we met. That was a big deal for us. And from that day forward, we shared many things, like Wendy's Kids Meals. You gave me a renowned hope during some of my darkest days, and to date, that hasn't changed. You and your parents are angels in disguise, and there aren't enough words to thank you for all that you've done. I've emphasized the word today because today marks another milestone for me, a milestone that I can only dream of growing up. I could only hope for a promising future growing in a marginalized community. There were not talks about college at the dinner table, nor did I have goals for life after high school. Instead, I dealt with the daily ins and outs of life that I knew. So today is a clear indication that I did not let my circumstances define me. My accomplishments were a combination of hard work, determination, and perseverance. However, I can't take all the credit. There are some very important people who I met along the way who mentored, inspired, challenged, and even advocated for me during some of my most difficult times. Coach Susan Nix, she was my high school coach. Coach, you taught me how to embrace my talent. You gave me that drive to want to do better each time the opportunity presented itself. Your energy inspired me. It pushed me to greater heights and opened up doors. I can still remember our shirts that we got made, and they read, Aquanetta, where you at? On the back, if you're reading that shirt, that meant that we left you behind. And that's exactly where I tended to do every time we competed, and that motto stands with me every day. Thank you for the blizzard runs and the ride homes. Most importantly, thank you for sharing this special day with me. Coach Jim Rotten, my high school basketball coach. Coach Rotten, I have a deep level of respect for your patience and understanding when it came to the athletes. You showed me tough love on the court, and you provided guidance off the court. There is no other person who can understand me the way that you do. Thank you for your constant effort. Coach Veronica Snow, you truly brought out the best in me. I can remember you and I having a conversation, and you told me, and I'll never forget, you said, Talitha, you are a silent leader. You'll understand what I mean by that one day. With every opportunity, those words constantly replayed in my head until one day it clicked. To date, I know what you mean. I know because those are the type of leaders that I want to follow. Someone who leads by example and models expectations. You have a gift of bringing peace and comfort to anyone you encounter. So thank you for being my mom away from home. Coach Sam Nichols, had you not drove to Millen and sat in my living room, McMurry wouldn't have even been an option for me. I'll never forget all the great memories made during the practices and games. Thank you for believing in me. Coach Barbara Krausen, the woman. I've heard behind every great athlete, there's a great coach. You made this opportunity possible for me and many of the track athletes during your tenure at McMurry. I vividly remember the day that you approached me and asked me if I was interested in joining the track team. I had no idea I'd be coached by someone with so much love, knowledge, and skill. You're a woman of grit and tenacity. That alone was enough for me to bring the best self in every time I set foot on the track. I can go on, but my time is limited. Before I move on, might I add that you may be the funniest person I know. When you decide to do stand-up, let me know. If I had to choose 2 words to describe you, they would be spunk and fire. Thank you for your guidance and energy you put in each day. Today could not have happened without you. Today, I stand before you no longer an athlete, but a Hall of Honor inductee and a chief. I'm here today because my coaches showed empathy, cared enough to speak life into me, gave me an outlet. They taught me life lessons, gave me a shoulder to cry on, didn't give up on me, cheered me on with goals that seemed so far out of reach. They heard me, and I didn't have to say a word. So my message today comes with a quote from the late Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I have been inspired by people who made me feel like I was somebody other than an athlete. So today, I leave you all with the same message. During your everyday interactions with people, remember, your words have power. What you say and how you say it can change the trajectory of a person's mood and life. Be a voice, advocate when you can, and take note that today and every day after that, you have the power to make a difference. Thank you.
Congratulations. Our next individual is Abilene's own Cody Brotherton, who currently serves on staff as a track and field assistant coach. Now, if there's one thing Cody Brotherton knew how to do in college, it was throwing random objects at a distance unmatched by most people in the world. Now, this specific skill brought about 5 national championships, the second most by any scholar athlete from the track and field program. The first 3 national championships did not come easy, though, as it took his final throw each time to best the competition. Talk about grit. His freshman year, they even had to restart the competition, and guess what? Cody stepped up to the plate and won by less than a hair. By the way, Cody threw a personal record of 61 feet and 9 inches with an injured hand, and that was done with crazy adrenaline, intensity, and grit. Like Talitha, Cody a great ambassador for this school, as he too was named the Fred Jacoby Sportsmanship Athlete of the Year and was a 3-time sportsmanship athlete. Cody is passionate in his faith, serving as a worship pastor at FBC Clyde, and is the co-founder of the Feed the Need mission in Bastrop and Smithville. He also serves our scholar athletes, teaching many of them how to throw those random objects like he did, but even more so, how to be a champion for life. He married McMurry graduate Shelley Perkins in 2008, and they have 2 children. Congratulations to Hall of Honor inductee Cody Brotherton.
Yeah, Sam told me I have 5 minutes, but, if you've been to seminary, I think 5 minutes, and that's a very short amount of time, but I'm just kidding. All right. I'm just so honored, humble, and grateful to be here. And as everybody said, and you're going to hear from everybody else, we truly understand when you're here, there's no way you could be here by yourself. And so the first thing I want to say to you is I give all the glory to God. And on this national championship ring right here, I think I've worn it twice. But anyway, it's very important, and I told Coach Krausen that it needs to have Psalm 115:1 on it. And that verse says, not to us, but to your name be the glory. And so I stand here today because I feel like I was able, by the grace of God, to tap into the deep greatness that's inside every one of us. And I look back on my time and know that, man, it was the power of God, the power of my mind that allowed me to rise up and to be here today. And so there's definitely some specific groups of people I want to thank, and the first one is my family. And this started in the backyard in Stratford, Texas. When I was 10 years old, I started throwing the shot put. And so, by the way, it's not random object throwing that I do. I tell my athletes it's ancient weapons training. We throw spears and hammers and shots and discus. That's ancient weapons training. So anyway, my two older brothers were the examples. And so they started throwing, and they were 9 and 7 years older than me. They're way, way older than me. My older brother's here today. But anyway, they got me started in throwing shot and discus. And like I said, I started at 10 years old. And so, I mean, that's just the grace of God that I got all those reps in, at 10 years old. And then beyond that, it's my first coach was my dad and my brother Matt. Those two specifically were my first coaches. And I cannot tell you how many hours of Mac Wilkins, Al Feuerbach videos that we watched over and over and over and over again. And then my mom was my first filmer. She would record all of the practices. And then if it was in an actual live track meet, she would get excited. So we may not actually get the actual throw. So you may just see the ground. But it was all that time that my parents and my family put in to watch film with me and to go on the journey. So they were my first coaches. And then, man, I was on a stop through Abilene, Texas. And I'm not going to tell you the year because it's a long time ago now. And I met this random track coach named Barbara Krausen. And she said, hey, why don't you stop on by McMurry? Let me tell you about McMurry Track and Field. And, I was a top 20 athlete in the nation coming out of high school, and I could have gone to any college I wanted. I had Division I scholarship offers. But within 5 minutes of meeting Barbara Krausen, I said, this is where I'm going to go to compete and do track and field. She's a special coach. You're going to hear a lot about her from all the track athletes here. But she's a very, very special person, and I wouldn't be here today without her. And, yeah, grit, spunk, life, fire, all those qualities, is what I learned from Coach Krausen. Then beyond that, I got another gift from God in Luke Hurst, and he's here today. And his wife, and I told her, actually she was technically my first coach, but she was also a teammate of mine, and she just had me running laps out there. So anyway, but no, Luke was a gift from God. And so, he was able to take me from a really good thrower at the national level, and he was what allowed me to turn into a national champion. I wouldn't be here today without Luke Hurst. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. Technically, there was one breakthrough he was able to show to me that changed my throwing, but beyond that was how to train in the weight room, how to get strong and how to be the best. And so without him, I wouldn't be here today. And then Jared Cook, he's the head coach at ACU now, but he was a teammate, and then my final year, he was actually my coach as well. But for all of my teammates, I wouldn't be here without you as well. And I cannot, I was going to tell Jared, I just remember doing hang clean after hang clean after hang clean in that weight room with him. And we put on loud music, and we lifted more than we should have in there, and we pushed ourselves to be the best we could. And without Jared and my other teammates pushing me along the way, there's no way I'd be here today. So I'm very thankful to all those people. But there's another group here that's very important for me to thank, and that's my wife, Shelly, and her parents who fed me copious amounts of food. You have no idea how much food I ate as a shot putter in college. And if you need a witness to there, go ask my mother-in-law how much food I could put away to support that training. And I would not be here today without all those steak and grilled chicken and all those calories. And so I want to definitely thank them and thank my wife for, putting up with this. I'm still throwing, so she's still putting up with me. And then, so I'm so thankful also that Hunter and Harper, that you are here today to be able to see this. It's very special for me to get that y'all are here to see this as well. I know some people have said, why did it take you so long for us to get you in here? And I said, it was the perfect timing of God. I wouldn't change the day because I'm so glad that my two kids are here to witness this. Finally, to my current Warhawks. How many McMurry track and field athletes are here right now? That's right. Thank you for coming, by the way. All right. I want to say I didn't come this far to only come this far. I feel like my greatest work is ahead of me. And, man, it's my calling to push you to that greatness. And, I'm going to kick your tail in that weight room. You've already experienced it. But I'm so excited to still be here at McMurry. And so my work is not done. And I want to tell each and every one of you as well. I want to share this with you. The greatness that brought me here is inside each and every one of you, okay? And God's not going to call many of you to win national championships in shot put, but there's something that God's gifted each and every one of you with, right? It's your created purpose. And he's there to empower that. And there's greatness inside of every one of you. So don't live your life in fear, but instead just push to be the greatest that you can be, because you have no idea what you can reach for and accomplish, because it's not your power, it's the power of God working through you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Cody. Our next inductee was born in Roseville, California, but his hometown is Abilene. Former Cooper High School standout Josh Lee came to McMurry in 2000 and went on to great success with the baseball program. He was the 2001 ASC Freshman of the Year and the 2003 and 2004 ASC Player of the Year. He was a first-team All-American as a senior and helped McMurry win 2 conference championships in that process. Lee ranks among the all-time leaders in many statistical categories here at McMurry, but he is one of the few to do so as both a pitcher and a hitter. You may be asking, what did he do in the important games, a.k.a. Hardin-Simmons? Sorry, Coach Keeling, we had to throw that in there. Well, Josh threw a complete game shutout against them as a true freshman, then had a 1-hit shutout and a 2-run homer against the Cowboys as a senior, both in the same game. Josh was drafted by the Detroit Tigers in 2004 and enjoyed a 3-year career in professional baseball. 2008, he came back to McMurry as an assistant coach and helped the team to another conference championship. By the way, that team is being inducted into the Hall of Honor later, so stay tuned for that. And Josh still works with many young players as the founder of the Texas Angels in 2012, where while he continues this project, he's once again back at McMurry as an assistant coach. He and his wife, Stacy, have 1 daughter, and they currently reside here in Abilene. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Hall of Honor class, Josh Lee.
So to try to get through this is going to be fun, to say the least. My players know that I don't struggle for words most of the time. Typically, a 5-minute conversation turns into a 30-minute lecture. So today I'm going to try to get through this as best as possible. So what does McMurry baseball mean to me? I asked this question to our team 2 years ago. when right before COVID happened, I asked him the question. I said, you're going to find a time where you're going to have to answer that question, what does McMurry baseball mean to you? But just in general, and I'm a crier, I'm sorry, guys. But I'm going to answer that question as I go through this, because there's not one word, there's not one phrase, there's not one comment, there's not one situation that answers that question. It's many multiple things that lead you to what your heart put on the line will give you, at the end of the day. So first and foremost, congratulations to the other honorees. It's pretty cool because pretty much everybody in this group I went to school with. I got to watch you compete. I got to watch you kick tail, and I got to watch you do it at a level that was second to none. And so for me, that set me with my expectation of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to achieve that. I wanted to be like Cody Brotherton. I know that he was putting up numbers. I knew Talitha when she was playing basketball and running, and the swim team was here dominating year after year, and obviously Albie is different, and so these guys are all people who were important to me and kind of setting the tone. I saw Han when he finished up. So it's legitimately excellence raises the bar, and excellence upon excellence upon excellence. So now we have expectation of what we do together. 5 minutes is not going to happen, Mr. Sam Ferguson. I'm sorry. We talked about it, I know. But first and foremost, McMurry baseball, it wouldn't be without thanks to my coaches, Lee Driggers. He taught me how to be a professional. We didn't always see eye to eye. I didn't always understand what he was doing, but I trusted him. I trusted what he was doing. I trusted his plan. I trusted what his expectations were for the program, and I knew he knew what he wanted, and I knew that I could just jump on the bandwagon and follow him, whether I agreed or not. He got the best out of me. He challenged me, and sometimes it would be by just yelling at me and turning around and walking away, and he knew that I was going to figure out a way to basically prove him wrong. And he knew that, and he figured that out with me, and he challenged me on a daily basis. So Coach Driggers not only taught me how to be a professional, he taught me how to be a good man. He taught me how to be a good coach. He taught me how to be a good mentor. He taught me how to be a leader, because our team needed that. And the expectation of our team was that, you know what, we're all going to ride or die in this together. And if we all don't jump on board and become leaders, then at the end of the day, we don't have the conference championship that we were striving for. We're all trying to get there. Coach Driggers, you are still a mentor to me. You are my coaching mentor. You are my baseball mentor, and I appreciate you for that. And I don't think words can explain or can do justice of what that means to me. Coach Byington and Coach Salty, you guys grinded it out with me in the cage and, made me a better hitter and challenged me on a daily basis and encouraged me and pushed me to get the best out of my ability. It was 10 a.m. hitting sessions in the cage with ourselves, just going at it, trying to figure out what I needed to do to fix or why I couldn't hit an inside pitch. And so thank you truly for that, and thank you for the man you are today and being a part of my journey today. Without the coaches comes probably the most important person for us as athletes, and that's our athletic trainer. Janet McMurry kept me on the field, kept me healthy, rehabbed my shoulder, pushed me. She spent all summer 6 a.m. while I was rehabbing the shoulder, torn labrum. She met me at the locker room at 6 a.m. and she rehabbed me for an hour every single day throughout the summer so that I could be prepared to play for the fall. And she was a sounding board. She was a voice. I could go in there and I could vent to her, and she could give me honest feedback, and she would challenge me and she would kick me in my tail. She was my mother away from my mother. And those of you who know who my mom is, you know that's a tough deal to feel right there, So, and Janet knew that, and so she would kick me in my tail and my brother and all the rest of us, and she would get us in our place, and she would help us achieve what we wanted to achieve. And so she was a huge part of not only my success, but athlete upon athlete success coming through McMurry. Working through, I'm going to look at this so I can stay on track. Teammates, So all of my teammates have a special part because this is not possible without them. There's no doubt in my mind. Like, this is not possible. I wouldn't have been able to get the fastball if it wasn't for Albert hitting the double before me and Seth behind me protecting me in the lineup. I'm not naive to that. I understand that, and I'm very thankful for that. For us, it was never expectation of you do this, I do this. It was about we did it together. We committed together, we grinded together, and at the end of the day, good things happened and numbers were put up. Seth, who was my 4-year teammate, the only guy who we graduated, the only two seniors who graduated in 2004. You know, he and I have been through a lot, came in 01 together. He actually came in the fall of 01 at the end, or in the spring of 01, and we battled. And for 4 years, he was my catcher. He was my voice of reason. When I was struggling, I walked the guy, or I threw 3 balls, he'd come out and challenge me quickly and get me right, and I'd go back out there and figure it out. Josh Duvey, Mike Wiley, Ralph Romero, those guys set me on a path of what McMurry baseball should be. They set a tone of what McMurry baseball should be, of what our expectations were. They taught me how to work. They taught me how to lift. They taught me how to be a good baseball player, to be honest with you. Talent is one thing, but to be a player is a different thing. We all are blessed with talent, but we all know that we've watched talented people stray from the path. But when you have guys like those guys challenging you and keeping you in focus, it's really hard to not be successful because they're pulling for you and they're pushing you and they're loving you doing it. And we had a competitive nature about us. And so it was a little bit of a strive to be good because we wanted to outdo other people. And I believe that that's what us as athletes do. We set tone, we set expectations, and we achieve those goals. Baseball is a team game, but it's an individual game played within a team concept. And so we all are responsible for our own individual aspects of the game in order for the team to be successful. So those guys taught me how to do that. They showed me, they challenged me, they pushed me, and at the end of the day, they're still some of my closest and best friends because we got to a point of trust. Albert, brother, like, I can't talk about you much. I can't talk about things that I'm extremely passionate about really that much because I get emotional. But we've been through a lot, man, and we've had a lot of success. And I still believe it. You're the greatest player to ever don a McMurry uniform, and I believe that, and I'll stand by that. And I love you, Derek. but Albert Carrizales is a different beast. And so I'm very thankful to be able to share the field with that man. Family. Sorry, guys. Mom and Dad, you mean the world to me. I love you. You've given me everything when we didn't have it. You've blessed me more than I can tell you. You taught me work ethic. You taught me expectation. You taught me grit. Because we had to grit through life, and that's good. Because I think that's what's missing a lot nowadays, is it's not just given to everybody. We grew up in a military background. That's how we ended up in Abilene, Texas. They found a way to get me to come to McMurry. Financially, they took care of that. They always pushed me. And my mom and my dad were our biggest supporters and still are. My mom, if you can't find my mom, just go stand somewhere and you can hear her most of the time. Even today, our athletes, you guys, just wait. You'll get that. But I love it because there's never a question. She's always been my biggest fan, and she's always had my back, and I never doubt that. And I'm very thankful for that. And so thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad, for providing for us, taking care of us, challenging us, teaching BC and I everything about sports in general. And that kind of feeds into the next portion, and that's my grandfather. I can't look at him. But, you know, raising 8 kids, working 3 jobs, and never batting an eye, never questioning anything, that's work ethic. That's grit. That's family. And those things were able to be transferred to us as grandchildren and to the great-grandchildren that are coming and are here. But he was also my biggest fan. The hardest day of my life was walking into the day I got released in pro ball, was walking in and telling him that I was no longer playing baseball. Toughest day, but he said, it'll be all right. You know, it'll be all right. There's good things to come. You're right, Grandpa. There's good things to come. There's still a lot ahead of us. And I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful for Grandma for everything you guys have done for us and pushing us. So this is for you as well. My Uncle Mike is here. I have several uncles who are involved in teaching me the game. We used to sit in the park, play wiffle ball, t-ball, go to the softball field, watch them play softball, relive their glory days. That taught me the game. And I'm very thankful for that because they've coached teams of mine and things along those lines. My brother, my teammate, my brother, my best friend. You are truly the reason I'm here today, and I mean that because you've done nothing but challenge me my whole life, expectation-wise, and I challenge me as an athlete, but challenge me personally as well. I hit a home run in college, and he'd be the one standing at the end of the line, and I'd get over there, and he's like, "That's all you got? Like, that's as far as you can hit it?" And I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." Humbling to say the least. But our competitions throughout our life, basketball court brawls, basketball court games, baseball, sandlot baseball, you challenging me as an athlete has helped me get to where I need to be and where I'm going, and not to mention he's a heck of a coach as well. He's leading young men, and once again, I'm aspiring to be what he is. I see him coaching young men and challenging young men, and he's got young men that'll run through a wall for him, and that's what I want as a coach. That's who I want to be. So I'm thankful for that, and I thank you for everything. Thank you for being my voice of reason, and thank you for humbling me when I need to be humbled, and thank you for putting me in my place. So my wife and my daughter. So I can't talk about a lot of stuff, and my wife, my daughter, my grandpa, and my mom and dad are typically the things I can't talk about, and I'm talking about those a lot, so I'm sorry. But Stacy made the comment, my wife, that, you know, you don't have to say too much about us. We weren't, you know, there through your glory days, but I don't agree. God was shaping me to be the man that I am to be your husband during those days. And so you truly were there. And so me being shaped at that time to become your husband in the future was happening when I was here at McMurry. So you absolutely were there with me. She is a true Hall of Honor inductee as well, because she is a champion for life, and what she does on a daily basis is true Hall of Fame category. And my daughter, 15, is growing on me too quick. But, you know, maybe all I say moving forward is just set your dreams high, set your goals high, and don't stop until you get there. And then once you get there, keep setting it higher. Just keep pushing it higher, and don't ever settle for anything less than what your expectations are. And I'll challenge you, and I'll push you, and I'll help you in that category. But that has to be a personal driven goal as well. And so hopefully I do that for you on a daily basis, and I show you what that is. But I can tell you one thing for sure. I'm going to push you, and we're gonna achieve what you want to achieve. So to finish out, to go back, what does McMurry baseball mean? My phone locked up, sorry guys. But McMurry baseball means grit, family, everlasting friendships, passion, championships, and achieved excellence. We talk about excellence a lot, and right now, that's what we got to get back to. And we're going to fight to get there. So that's what it means to me. So fellas, I sat in your seat in 2002 at a Hall of Honor induction ceremony, and I was inspired by the people I looked up at and I watched. I hope that this, not just me, but these people, these men, these women, these teams inspire you, because at the end of the day, you can be up here as well, and you can have your own records and goals and achievements. And so thank you for those of you guys who attended. I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, set your goals high and don't let anybody deter you away from that. Thank you.
Congratulations, Josh. Our next inductee is the first women's cross-country induction into the Hall of Honor. GymNed's own Carla Lewis Frazier came to McMurry in 2006 and wasted no time submitting her legacy. She was the 2006 ASC Freshman of the Year and Runner of the Year, winning the conference meet and helping the team win its first and only conference championship. As a senior in 2009, she became the program's only two-time medalist and only runner to win the ASC Runner of the Year 2 times. She became the first runner from McMurry to advance to the NCAA Division III national meet. And oh, by the way, she also still holds she and her teammates still hold the 4x100 relay record. She once held records in the steeplechase, the 800, and the 1500. Carla was always involved on campus and always worked hard in the classroom, achieving 2-time academic All-American status. Carla remains active even after her career, co-owning CrossFit Abilene and competing it as a hobby. Carla also works as a physical therapist at the Hendrick Center for Rehabilitation. She and her husband, Braden, have 1 daughter, and they reside in Abilene. Introducing to the Hall of Honor, Carla Lewis Frazier.
Okay. I tend to be a girl of few words, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. But this is an incredible honor, and I'm so humbled to be even considered in the ranks amongst all of these other amazing athletes. Truly humbling. So I want to thank everybody that was involved in selecting the Hall of Honor inductees this year. And to start off, I would be dismissed if I didn't give credit where credit was due. I was blessed from a very young age with a love of running that can only be explained as by God. So any glory that I ever receive must go to God first. My parents, who are here with me today, they saw that love for running, and they always encouraged me and supported me to chase after my goals, and were perfect examples of hard work and dedication to get where they wanted to be in life. So I owe a huge thank you to them for teaching me, guiding me, and supporting me in setting and achieving my goals. Coach Chandler, you poured so much energy into everything that you did, poured so much energy into not only me, but every single athlete that you coached. I remember getting the workouts sent to us on Sunday evenings with a list of individualized workouts for each athlete on the cross-country team. I always thought it must have taken forever to specialize everyone's specific paces and mileage based on the athlete's needs and abilities. So I know that took a lot of time outside, probably from your family, and we too appreciate all the time that you took to spend to make us all better athletes. And although I hated those early morning workouts, which you knew, you were always there every single day with a big smile, a high five, and always had a positive attitude, making the morning time so much more pleasant than it ever should have been. You also put a big emphasis on making the experience of every cross-country trip we took an educational one, so that we got more out of the trip than just going to run in the cross-country meet. I have so many fond memories of every single one of those trips that we took, so thank you so much for planning those so well. Stephen Sherman was not able to make it here today, but I have to extend a thank you to him, even though he's not here. He would often run with me during all of our practices and was a ninja at knowing every single pace that we were running. He always knew just the right words to say in the middle of either a mile repeat or a long run when I started to lag behind to keep me going. So I owe a lot to him in the speed that I was able to run. In fact, I still hear his voice in my head during any difficult work that I'm doing. Being able to run cross-country and track here at McMurry University was such a blessing because the student-athlete experience was one that was embraced and encouraged. I was able to have experiences and learn skills that I still take with me to this day. So thank you so much for all who had a hand in helping me develop not only as an athlete, but as a human being. Thank you.
Congratulations, Carla. Crowley High School legend Albert Carrizales is a model of consistency for the McMurry baseball program, as he is one of two record holders for the most games played in history with 179. The other, Hall of Honor member Joe Fischera. Much like Josh Lee in 2001, Carrazales was named the ASC Freshman of the Year in 2003. He went on to become a four-time all-conference shortstop, anchoring the McMurry infield during one of its best stretches. He holds school records for the most career at-bats, hits, doubles, triples, and defensive assists in a single game. He and Lee are also two of the only three players to hit for the cycle in McMurry baseball history. Albert went 5 for 6 with 2 triples, a homer, a double, and a single against Sul Ross State back in 2006. That's 13 total bases in a game. He also made occasional appearances on the mound and is the all-time record holder in ERA with a low 2.41 for his career. And like Lee, Albert was part of that 2004 championship team. Albert is synonymous with the baseball diamond and has been the head coach at his alma mater, Crowley High School, for nearly a decade. He earned his 100th win back in 2019. He and his wife, Erin, reside in Burleson. They have 2 children. Introducing to the Hall of Honor, Albert Carrizales.
All right. First off, congratulations to the other honorees in this program. This is truly a humbling experience to be nominated and inducted into the Hall of Honor. I didn't think that this was going to happen. I mean, I didn't have this thought process when I first started back in 2003. God blessed me with the gift to play baseball. And, you know, I took it, ran with it, a lot of hard work, but all the credit goes to him, all the glory. He gave me a platform with baseball, and this is for the glory goes to him. First person I'd like to thank is Coach Salscaber. Thank you for coming out to Crowley, little town of Crowley, Texas, recruiting me. It seemed like every single game he was out there recruiting me. Coach Byington for sharpening all my tools as an infielder and teaching me the ins and outs of how to hit, dissecting a swing. I mean, we'd sit in his office and go back and forth on film and stuff that I never even realized about it to be a hitter we used to go through, so I appreciate that. Coach never accepted mediocrity. Your standards were high, you ran a tight ship, and you pushed me to be the best player I could be. And I appreciate you trusting me for 4 years to play shortstop for you. Our athletic trainer, Janet McMurray, I'm not sure if you're here today, but if it wasn't for you, I don't know if there you are. I don't know if I'd be playing my senior year. That summer in July, I had a rotator cuff surgery, and I knew it was going to be a process, but man, you kicked my butt. You kicked my butt, and sometimes I couldn't tell if you were enjoying seeing me get better and enjoying me cry a little bit. But you're a huge reason why I was able to play and continue my career. Josh Lee and Seth Ardoin, two of the best teammates I've ever played with. I was truly blessed to play with you guys. One of my favorite scriptures is Proverbs 27:17, and it reads, "As iron sharpens iron, a friend sharpens a friend." And every day at practice, you could just playing catch, and he threw the ball a little harder than I did the first time. So, I had to tune it up a little bit and throw a little bit harder, and he'd continue to do the same thing until we had to scoot back further and further. And but that's what kind of team we had. We were always pushing each other to be the best that we could be. And I'll never forget the celebration that we had after turning the 5-4-3 double play in 2004 to win that championship. Coach Jimmy Keeling and Coach Dale Keeling for inspiring me to continue my passion for the game of baseball and be a coach. I got to experience and watch both of you coaches have successful programs. Being in the locker room and just being around, watching you guys pour your hearts out into those young athletes, you made me want to do the same, so thank you. To my high school sweetheart, Aaron, thank you for always being there for me. 15 years old, all the way through now, I'm still coaching, being around the game. Thank you for listening when I've had a tough loss or celebrating with us when we're winning. I appreciate your support, always traveling to games, cold, hot, everything. I really appreciate your support. To my little sister, for all the times I made you go into the backyard with me, and I promised if you just, set the tee a few times, she played softball, I'll set the tee for you. And it'd just be for a little bit turned into an hour and a half, and I don't think she ever swung the bat. To my parents, I could be up here for the rest of the day talking about how much I appreciate you guys. Always giving me anything I needed for baseball, take me to practices, cleaning uniforms, just always being there for me. Mom, thank you for being my rock, for being at every game, for never allowing me to be complacent and always pushing me to be the best. I remember that 5 or 6 game that I had in Sol Ross, and she said, "Well, that's a good day, but what happened on that other at bat?" But that's how she would push me, show me tough love, but always excited for anything that I did. Dad, thank you for introducing and teaching me the game of baseball, for never saying no when I asked you to play catch, even when you just got off of work and you've had a long day, for every hard ground ball that you hit me with no mercy. I think I still have a couple of fake teeth in because you hit the baseball as hard as you could every time, but I appreciate that because it helped me be successful. To my beautiful daughters, Kinley and Brooklyn, Josh, I know what you feel like. I'm proud of y'all. Be ambitious. Be passionate about what you do. And do your best, be the best. And work hard. And we're going to push you, okay? I love you, girls. Thank you.
Congratulations, Albert. Han Olison has accomplished it all, and he accomplished it a lot of times. He is a 6-time national champion. He is a 17-time All-American. He is a 16-time All-Conference champion and won conference titles all 4 years. He holds 5 school records that still stand today, and he scored more points than any other team at the NCAA National Championship in 2008 to guide McMurry to his first NCAA National Championship in any sport. That's right, not just more than any individual, but more than any other team. On that remarkable day, Han accounted for 34 of the team's 35 points, including relays, as McMurry edged SUNY Cortland to win the title. Despite all of his accomplishments, according to many sources, Han remained humbled through it all. Of course, Coach Barbara Krausen and Coach Bev Ball were 2 of the people closest to Han. Han even mentioned the red hots that Coach Ball used to have on her desk when he wrote this information for us. Han currently works at Rover Petroleum and has been with that company since 2017. He has 2 daughters, and he enjoys watching them play sports. He currently resides up in Hamlin. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Han Olison to the McMurry Hall of Honor.
I definitely don't need a whole bunch of time up here like everybody else. It's an honor to even be here today with this class that's being inducted. I mean, when I first got recruited by Coach Krausen to come to McMurry, I just remember seeing the brochures and things, and Cody, you were always the man on the front, and I was always like, man, one of these days I want to be on that front cover too. Talitha, your name was all over the place. Walking around campus, I used to hear about Josh and Albert and everybody just coming up, and I always said, to be a winner, we got to be a winner. And Coach, you pushed me to the limits a lot of days. KY, Cheeto, Jeremy, Randy, y'all sitting right there, and y'all know there's a lot of days y'all hated me because Coach was going to drag you guys trying to break me. And I didn't bow down, Coach. You know I didn't. And I think that's why now, sorry for the gray hair. I love you, but we bumped heads. I wanted to leave a lot. Thought about transferring, going somewhere else. Mom, you know, you kept telling me, that woman brought you here. She gonna finish it. In 2008, Coach got this bright idea, let's go run the quarter, and I was like, no, ma'am. I said, I didn't come here to run the quarter. I was a 200 relay guy, long jump. And Coach Krausen, you said I could run that quarter, and I said, nope, I'll run it on my relay, and I'm out. Never would have thought I'd be a national champion for you, Coach. Never thought I'd run 46 because I used to grit out some of them 47s and 48s. And you donkeys? Hey, donkey, let's keep running because I wanted to leave that year with Coach Sam, but I stayed. I love you, Coach. Coach Ball, I got to thank you because your door was always open no matter what. I could stop in on my way to class, catch me some red hots. You tell me everything going on. I could talk to you. I thank you for everything while I was at McMurry, and thanks everybody for being here today, and it's been an honor. Thank you.
Congratulations. Our final individual cannot join us in person today, but she is watching the broadcast as we speak, Abilene's own Terah Brown Jeter. While Terah will officially be part of this year's class, she'll have her opportunity to be formally introduced and speak with the class of 2022. Terah made a career for herself in Abilene, joining the volleyball team in 2007. She was named the West Division Most Valuable Player in 2008 and the ASC Co-Player of the Year as a freshman in 2007. Terah has the distinction of being the only McMurry player to achieve 1,000 career kills and 500 career blocks, and she ranks second in all-time blocks with 502 and fifth in all-time hitting percentage. One of the themes today is, how did so-and-so do against the team across town? Terah did very well. She had a career night against HSU in 2008 with 20 kills and a victory. She went on to become an All-American that season. Terah made a great career for herself after college as a coach in the Abilene ISD system. In 2018, she coached her first volleyball team to an undefeated season. Nowadays, she can be seen sitting right next to her former coach, Cammie Petrie, and she is now helping as an assistant. She married Cooper High School girls basketball coach Arsenio Jeter, and they have 2 children. Let's have a round of applause for Terah Brown Jeter. And she'll be getting her award, like we said, at a later time. Each year, the Bob and Clara Brown Honor goes to an individual or a couple who've made significant contributions to McMurry Athletics. This year's winner of the award and newest inductees are into the McMurry Hall of Honor are Kathi and Murray Edwards of Clyde. Though neither Kathi or Murray attended McMurry University, their support for the Warhawks has been remarkable. When McMurry announced in 2016 it would be adding softball as an intercollegiate sport, this created many new and exciting challenges, and McMurry hired a new coach. Coach recruited scholar athletes. Team had a schedule, played its first season in 2018, but something was missing: a home. McMurry did not have an on-campus field until the generosity of Kathi and Murray Edwards allowed the university to build its first on-campus softball stadium. On April 12th of 2019, McMurry announced it would build the stadium and name it Edwards Field in their honor. The field officially opened less than a year later on February 16th of 2020. Kathi addressed a crowd of nearly 400 people that day, and her granddaughter, Annie, threw out the very first pitch in stadium history. McMurry won that first ball game 1-0 and went on to win 9 of its 10 games at Edwards Field after opening up. Kathi and Murray have been known over the years for their volunteer efforts. Murray is a high-level president and director in the agricultural field, and Kathi is a volunteer and staff chaplain for Hendrick Hospice Care. They have also served many years at the First United Methodist Church of Clyde and Winters in many capacities. Kathi and Murray have 3 children, and they have 6 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, our Bob and Clara Brown Award winners, Kathi and Murray Edwards.
Besides thanking everyone for this wonderful honor, I was entrusted with introducing our family guests here, along with the admonition not to mess it up. Our son, John Morris Edwards, and his wife, Aubrey Edwards, are here, along with Annette Annie Edwards, who is famous for throwing out the first pitch, and her brother, Ira Edwards, who I suspect both will be probably class of 2070 inductees into the Hall of Honor in some sport. Kathy's sister, Christy Thompson, her husband, Ray Thompson, both of whom are graduates of McMurry and probably high honor graduates of McMurry. So thank you very much for this very significant award.
And I'd like to add just a little bit to that, a personal sort of a story. Actually, for me, accepting this award is really not on my benefit for me. I really would like to accept this award on behalf of every young woman who is enticed and encouraged by the coaches for the softball program and made to feel that they are really wanted and very much needed here at McMurry. And they may or may not end up being Hall of Honor recipients. But they will be young women who come to this place and learn about what it means to be part of a community. And I think that the reason this is very important to me goes back. I've thought a lot about it. In 1950, my father, whose name is C. Lee Smith, graduated from a very small school, Eula. It's near here, about 15, 20 miles from here. Eula High School is pretty much a basketball powerhouse, if you know anything about Eula. They've been to the state tournament 5 times, and one state, I think in maybe 2010. But the first team to go to the state tournament in 1946, my dad was a part of that team. And I think he was an 8th grader, point guard, who got pulled up and allowed to travel with the team to the state tournament. When he graduated from Eula, he was offered a spot on the McMurry basketball team. He came and practiced with the team several times, he told me, and he was pretty excited about coming. But then, in the summer of 1950, the Korean conflict began. There was also a major drought going on, and his family was a farming family. And for a lot of reasons, my dad was unable to come to McMurry and play basketball. So he later, when my sister and our other 2 sisters, four daughters, my dad went back to college and graduated from McMurry with a degree in finance at the age of 44. But he never got to play basketball. And so this honor for us is not about us at all. It's about young people, in particular, in our case, young women, softball players, but young athletes in general who are able to come to college in their youth and excel in whatever way they can. That's what this honor is about for us, and we would like to accept it on behalf of future athletes. Thank you.
Thank you for your support. 2 years ago, McMurry Athletics announced the inaugural Grant Taft Beyond the Game Award to be given to a former McMurry athlete or staff member who has brought prestige, dignity, and honor to McMurry University in areas of their life after graduation. This year's recipient of the award is legendary athletic trainer William Doc Hadley, who enters the Hall of Fame posthumously. Doc served as McMurry University for 22 years before passing in April of 2004. The Hadley Athletic Training Facility, located inside Kimbrell Arena, has since been named in his honor. Now, Doc is originally from Bellows Falls, Vermont, and was a multiple sport athlete at high school, including a football All-American in 1968. He also excelled in baseball, swimming, golf, and skiing. After all, it was a school in Vermont. Staying in the athletic field, he attended Vermont in 1973 and then went to Arizona to obtain his master's in 1975. His major, athletic training. In 1975, he married his wife Colleen back in Bellows Falls, and the couple moved to Texas, where they would end up for good. They lived in El Paso, San Antonio, Houston, Copper's Cove, and of course, Abilene. It's hard to single out one great moment Doc got to be a part of while at McMurry. Well, because he was part of all of them. He tirelessly served the McMurry community in his role and made many great friends along the way: coaches, administrators, scholar athletes, campus staff, etc. Outside of athletics, Doc enjoyed cycling and belonged to the Abilene Bike Club and Team Bicycles. Many people also knew him as an avid Red Sox fan. Hadley's legacy continues today through his son, Trevor Hadley, a 2002 McMurry graduate and current athletic trainer in Corpus Christi. Trevor and the Hadley family will be accepting this award on Doc's behalf today. Trevor is joined by Doc's other son, Trent, who works as a project supervisor here in Abilene. Also joining them is Doc's daughter-in-law, Annabelle, and his granddaughter, Taylor, and great-granddaughter, Aiden. Ladies and gentlemen, help me honor this year's Grant Taft Beyond the Game Award winner, William Doc Hadley.
We're going to see how this goes. Okay. I'd like to thank McMurry, thank all of you for coming today. Everybody that's inducted today, I went to school with a lot of you or was a trainer here for a little bit when you guys were here. It's an honor for Dad to be involved with you guys. Dad loved his family. Now I'll go to the other guy. Doc loved McMurry. He was Doc to me, too. Doc loved his students, and he loved his athletes, every one of them. Doc's impact on athletic trainers is far and wide, from Dalhart to Corpus Christi. East-West extends. It's since he got here, hundreds of trainers and hundreds of lives impacted. I wanted to make sure, one of the things that he instilled in all of us, every trainer that came through here, is to treat everybody the same. I make a point to even do that today. Josh, I know what you mean. Okay. He wasn't perfect. If you ever got an email from him, you knew that. I came up with 1,000 stories to tell, and I could be up here for days. But what I really want to do is, everybody here that was impacted by him, which is probably most of us, think of a story in your head, and it'll help you smile. I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. Thank you guys again for coming out today. It's a great honor, and go Red Sox.
Our final portion of the program honors our team inductions, both of which are very deserving of entry into our Hall of Honor. In 2017, Coach Bev Ball became the first representative from the McMurry swimming program to receive an induction into the Hall of Honor. Now, fast forward to today, and the very first conference champions are receiving induction: the 2002 men's and women's swimming teams. Established in 1999, it took McMurry just 3 years to make a splash at the conference level. In 2002, both the men and women won New South Intercollegiate Conference championships in dominant fashion. The men won the white division. Men won while the white division with 330 points, beating out Spring Hill College with 240 points in second place, and Incarnate Word with only 51 in third. The women dominated even more in their meet, scoring 369 points to beat both teams by a wide margin. The other two combined 29 total points, and McMurry 369. 25 swimmers have been recognized with the program, including record holders Joe Salinas, Matt Broussard, Ryan Black, and Sean Young. Hillary Poole also set records on the women's side after the 2002 season, which still stand today. It's my pleasure to introduce the 2002 swimming program into the Hall of Honor. And Coach Bev Ball will be coming up to make a few comments. And if the swim team could come on down at this point, and we'll get your certificates. And the members of the team include Michael Asherbranner, Ryan Black, Matt Broussard, Matthew Brown, Kristen Campbell, Megan Berger-Doby, Stephen Hart, Mandy Newton-Nippers, Sarah Flores-Lara, Hillary Poole-Liddell, Jessica Luker, Roger Nicholas, Casey Pacheco, Ginu Perez, Vic Powers, the assistant, Joe Salinas, Randall Shaw, Byron Smith, Michael Stewart, Candace Teague, Brian Trokel, Kimberly Griffin Vantahova, I'm sure I messed that up, sorry. Vanta, there you go. Bobby Venable, Lindsay Wright, and Sean Young. The newest members of the McMurry Hall of Honor. How are you doing, partner?
This is a surprise. I didn't know I was going to talk about these young people. But I had a dear friend to tell me, Coach Ball, when you get as old as dirt, you can say anything you want to. So I'm as old as dirt. In this group, Dr. Harper, Sam, forgive me for my language, but this is a hot damn boob. They are a hot damn team. We have had some sad times and some fun times and conference meet, 2 in a row with this group. They did it in 3 years, which should have been impossible. But they had the most heart of any group that I've coached with. They may have caused us the most trouble. I know security people have called me a few times with this group. Some that are standing on the stage for crawling out of windows. I remember we had the Valley Boys, some of the guys that they have just told you about that couldn't be here today. Some of them are in the Marines. We have a couple that are working down on the border, trying to straighten out that problem. But one night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I got this call from Mark, our security head man, saying, Coach Ball, you need to come up here. And golly, Moses, it had been snowing and the weather was cold, but I came up at 3 o'clock in the morning and he said, I want you to look out here. We had the Valley Boys, and about half of these guys were in Speedos outside trying to catch snow with open mouths running around with Speedo in the morning. He said, you've got a crazy bunch here. I said, yes, I know that. We've got a crazy bunch. In this group, we have more swim coaches than all the other groups put together. And they have done a tremendous job. I'm really proud of this group. Can't say enough about them. But they are a wild group. They are a hot damn group. Oh, by the way, on our scoreboard at the pool, these guys hold more school records than any other team. Nearly all of them are still there.
Congratulations again. Last but not least is our conference championship winning 2008 baseball team. McMurry Baseball had a long stretch of success since starting the program back up in 1996, winning 4 conference championships within 12 years. That stretch is capped with this team, who joins the 2008 track and field team as the 2 youngest in the Hall of Honor. McMurry finished 29-17 overall and 14-7 in conference play, defeating Concordia in 2 games to win the conference championship. The 2008 roster was stacked with the likes of Derek David, McMurry's only National Player of the Year winner in baseball. He and Cody Curry doubled as ASC Player and Pitcher of the Year, while Brett Voorhees and Steve Yurchik joined them as the All-Division First Team. Weston Franco, Stephen Derrick, Jeff Jackson, George Witten, and Aaron Wood were also all-conference honorees with that team. David, Yurchik, and Voorhees still own some of McMurry's career records from this team, as well as Kyle Martin with 8 career saves. McMurry beat 2 ranked opponents in 2008, UT Tyler and Mary Hardin Baylor, and performed well enough to host the ASC tournament just across the street at Walt Driggers Field. Team fell in danger of elimination with a loss to Louisiana College, but bounced back to win the rest of the way and appear in the regionals. The team fell to number 1 Chapman in a close game to end the season. McMurry, like we said, finished 29-17 overall, 14-7 in the conference. They enter as the 4th baseball team into the Hall of Honor. If the members of that team who are present, the 2008 baseball team, if you'd come forward at this time, and your head coach, Lee Driggers, will make a few comments. Members of this team include Jacob Ashcraft. John Bach was an assistant coach. John Byington also an assistant. DJ Baiza, Thomas Beckham, Ryan Bennett, Garrett Blunt, Alan Cesario, Cody Curry, Derek David, Corey Davis, Stephen Derrick, Weston Franco, Adrian Gayena, Jeff Jackson, Clint Johnston, Lance Jones, Grayson Lee. Josh Lee was also an assistant on that team. Nathan Love, Kyle Martin, Chris Masario, Derek McBride, Jared Morris, Jake Mullen, Blake Nichols, Derek Patterson, Aaron Redmond, Evan Reese, Chris Ruggles, Clay Schubert, Ross Shores, Dakota Smith, Logan Smith, Arnold Toombs, Brent Voorhees, George Witten, Blaine Week, Aaron Wood, and Stephen Yurchik, the newest members of the McMurry Hall of Honor. Hey, partner, how are you doing?
Great to see you. It's good to see you. Wow, it is good to be home. I don't get back here as much as I used to. I spent 20 years of my life here. Graduated 3 kids from Cooper. 2 of them got married here, and spent 13 of the greatest years of my life right here on this campus. And, you know, I only get to talk about it. This is kind of a big day for me. I mean, because you've seen 2 other inductees go into the Hall of Fame from 2 other teams. My trainer for 8 years, you know, Doc Hadley. I mean, there's just so many memories here, but I'm here to talk about the 2008 team. And 3 things come to mind, I think, when I think of the 2008 team. One is talent, dedication, and I think depth. Those are the 3 things that really pop to mind. And, you know, backing up to, Josh Lee and Albert Carrizales. They're two of the best players that have ever put a uniform on at McMurry. And each time our championships go back to 1998, which was our third year, to play. We won our first championship. And coaches all the time say, how am I going to replace this guy? I mean, off that first championship team, we lost 3 90-mile-an-hour starters. Who had that in Division III, and that kind of thing. And so how are we going to replace them? And you don't know if you can. But each year, each team set the standard, I think, for the next one. And Josh Lee and Albert were a part of that. They picked up on a standard that first team set, and they raised the bar, and our guys just kept raising the bar every time. And there was always, and that led, I think, to the talent that was on this 2008 team. And, talent doesn't begin just with the players. It begins with the people you surround yourself with. I had a great coaching staff, and Coach Byington, Coach Salscaper, and Josh Lee it's like, a former great player. They're on the coaching staff, and then that brings in these players that we have. Janet McMurray had taken over as trainer. Talented trainer. It's all a team effort. But we had, I think, on this 2008 team, it was the most talented team that we ever put on a field here at McMurry. Every time in baseball, you set your lineup up 1 through 9. You're always trying to hide somebody. Somebody's in the 9th row. You've got somebody on defense that, can he play over here? Maybe you won't get the ball hit to him, or something. Just anything like that. But this team had no weaknesses. We were good on defense. We had no weaknesses. 1 through 9 in our lineup, could hit home runs, could do anything else. They were a talented team. Second, when I say dedicated, these guys were obviously dedicated on the field. They were dedicated at practice. They were dedicated in the locker room. They were dedicated in the weight room. And more importantly they were dedicated to each other. You've heard a lot talk today about family, and you've seen a lot of these tracksters and a lot of everything else. You can see the relationships that were built, not only with their coaches, but with their teammates. And that's what I saw in this team. And you can see it today, these guys cared about each other, not on the field, but off the field as well. And that's special. And then when I say depth about this team, if I remember right, these guys can correct me, but I know during this season, we had some injuries, that particular year. And I think at one time, 6, not all at the same time, that might have been tough, but 6 of our starters were hurt at some time during the year and couldn't play. And so that means you got to put somebody else in. And when we put somebody else in, we didn't lose a beat. In other words, we were deep enough to be able to put somebody in that could carry the load for this team. So when I think about those 3 things, this team exemplified that. And, watching all of these young men here and doing this, you can think about wins and losses on a baseball field. But now that I retired a couple of years ago, I coached for 48 years. And, I got to tell you, it's not the wins and losses. It's not the baseball part of it that I'm most gratified and honored for. What it is, I think, is now that, and I hope that's what, Josh alluded to, and Josh took most of my time, so I'll stop right here on this thing. So I didn't coach him very good there. He went, but the thing about this is that I look at these young men and who they've become. I follow a lot of these guys on Facebook. I don't do much responding or anything, but I look at them, and I am so gratified to have been a small part of their life, to see the dedication that I think that they had for each other on a baseball field and for the game of baseball. And there's no doubt in my mind, as I look at them, I've seen the husbands that they've become. I've seen the fathers that they've become. And you can see that in the emotion that Josh had and Albert had. And I've met some of these guys' families that I hadn't seen some of these guys since we walked off the field in 2008. Okay? But their families, their wives that they have, that's the most gratifying thing that any coach can ever see, is when they see their former athletes and the people that they've become. And we've alluded to God. God has a plan for all of us. He has a plan not to harm us, but for a hope and a future. And I think that that's what all of these young men represent, and I am honored to have had the privilege to coach them here at McMurry University.
Congratulations again to all of our teams and everyone else who are honored this morning. This is a truly special class for the McMurry Hall of Honor. Please give them another round of applause. And thank all of you for joining us on this special morning. At this time, I'd like to ask 2006 Hall of Honor inductee Cammie Petrie to come to the stage and lead us in our alma mater. And if you need help, the lyrics are printed on the bottom of your program. Then please remain standing as the Reverend Bill Libby will deliver our benediction, and then you'll be dismissed. Thank you again for coming. Okay.
Is it on? Ooh, it's on, yeah. I'm staying right here with Bill. You gonna sing with me? Mm-hmm. All right. Hail to our dear McMurry, long wave maroon and white, pride of our western prairie, spirit of honor, truth, and right. We cherish your traditions, ever true will be. Your Hall of Fame is in our hearts. All hail to thee.
And as we come to the close, let me say to you what a blessing this afternoon has been for so many of us. Thank you for coming. And then I want to give a personal comment that many of you are not aware of. Since I'm listed as Reverend, I also was coach, and I also was professor. And many of these people who were honored today were my students in different ways. So thank you all for being here. And now let us bow together for the benediction. Heavenly Father, what a blessing the day has been. You watch over us in our lives. You care for us. You help us develop ourselves. But we are also surrounded by friends and family. And today, Heavenly Father, we have joined among hundreds of others remembering parts of the past, and we celebrate that together. Be with us as we go forth into the world again, and may we continue to be a blessing to those around us and in our community, and especially in our families. We pray all of this in the name of the Father and Son and Holy Spirit, and go with him now and evermore. Amen. And as I go, let me close with one other comment. Most of you are aware that at 4 o'clock the football team will play Southwestern over in the stadium. And as an Aggie, let me say to you, beat the hell out of Southwestern.
Thanks for compiling all of that.
Fantastic job, man. You did great.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully it was easy to read.
Yes. Yeah, big print's always good. Triple spaced is better.
Got it. Okay.
Now, the next thing, if you can